Right now, as we speak, interstellar objects are flying through our cosmic neighborhood. A few years ago, that wild space rock Oumuamua literally zipped right through our solar system, and it sparked all these crazy theories that it might actually be alien technology. Now, while it was almost certainly just a highly unusual rock, it really forces us into a terrifying thought experiment. What if a visitor from another star system wasn't just passing by? What if it was a hostile force? So let's explore that exact scenario. What if we were attacked by aliens?
We absolutely have to address the elephant in the room straight away. With all the recent military reports of UAPs and congressional hearings treating them as potential threats, public interest in aliens is practically off the charts. But seriously, if undeniable proof landed tomorrow, say a UFO touches down right on the White House lawn, what are we actually prepared to do? Do we have some massive global response just ready to roll out?
Well, let's kick things off with Earth's non-existent defense plan and look at the massive difference between catching a distant radio signal and dealing with a physical attack.
Okay, to be fair, we do have a plan. Kind of. Drafted way back in 1989 by the International Academy of Astronautics, there is a real-world, 9-step post-contact protocol. It involves things like ruling out natural causes, getting SETI and the UN on the horn, making a big public announcement, and then blocking specific radio frequencies to protect the signal. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. This entire plan only applies if we detect a distant electromagnetic radio signal from light years away. It is 100% designed for a long-distance hello.
So the crucial point is this: if we make physical contact with a hostile force, if aliens actually show up in our atmosphere guns blazing, there is literally zero official plan for that. Based on extensive research into global military protocols, there is not a single country on Earth with a stated public contingency plan for an extraterrestrial attack. Absolutely nothing.
And honestly, it's kind of hilarious in a dark way. The U.S. Department of Defense actually built Con Plan 8888, which is a highly detailed, literal wargaming scenario for a zombie apocalypse. They use it to train junior officers in contingency planning. But for an actual physical alien attack? Crickets. We have a literal binder for zombies, but an interstellar invasion remains completely outside our official strategic planning.
Which brings us to the motives for an alien attack. I mean, why would they even bother crossing the entire galaxy just to come here?
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to grasp the sheer, mind-bending distance involved. Our closest neighboring star is Proxima Centauri, sitting about 4.24 light-years away. To put that into perspective, the fastest man-made object ever built, the Parker Solar Probe, tops out at roughly 430,000 miles per hour. Even moving at that blistering speed, it would take us 6,500 years just to reach our closest neighbor. So any alien civilization reaching us automatically possesses unimaginably superior technology. We are talking warp drives and faster-than-light capabilities.
So why make that incredible journey? Well, it's probably not for water. Even though Earth is covered in it, water is actually incredibly abundant in space. Just look at the massive icy plumes venting off Saturn's moon, Enceladus. Instead, they might be after our stable, habitable planet itself if their own star is dying out. Or there's the zoo hypothesis, where they just want to study us from afar, like bugs in a jar. But the most terrifying reason for an attack? It might just be pure self-preservation.
This brings us to a brilliantly terrifying concept in game theory called the dark forest hypothesis. It proposes that the universe is actually teeming with civilizations, but they are all hiding in total silence. Why? Because the moment any civilization reveals itself, say by blasting radio signals into space or setting off nuclear weapons, a dominant, highly advanced civilization spots them and wipes them out preemptively. They might not even hate us. They just want to nip our notoriously violent, rapidly advancing species in the bud before we ever become a threat to them.
And building right on top of that is the berserker theory. Honestly, an invading force might not even be biological at all. Biology just doesn't travel well across thousands of light years. It's way more likely we'd be facing an ancient, rogue, artificial intelligence. These self-replicating machines, called von Neumann probes, could have been programmed millions of years ago by a dead civilization to just endlessly roam the galaxy and clear out biological life. There'd be no malice, no anger. They'd just be executing code.
So let's look at the speculative timeline from first contact to total global blackout. The 48-hour countdown begins.
The clock starts ticking at hour 1, when SETI detects an unmistakable, non-natural signal. By hour 5, they've breached our atmosphere with a silent landing, completely ignoring all of our frantic attempts to communicate. By hour 10, the attack officially begins. And because we're dealing with a highly calculated intelligence, they don't just randomly fire into crowds like in the movies. No, by hour 12, they systematically target military bases, power grids, and transportation networks. The entire world goes completely dark. By hour 24, whatever is left of human society is evacuating major cities in absolute total panic.
Now, we naturally assume we'd fight back, right? But the disparity is just laughable. Even with the US spending $1 trillion a year on defense, our most advanced fighter jets and naval fleets are utterly useless against a warp-capable civilization. We are literally bringing conventional weapons to a fight against space lasers, nanotechnology, and antimatter bombs. It's not a war, it's an extermination.
Of course, in a desperate last stand, global militaries would absolutely consider the nuclear option. But firing our nuclear arsenal presents a massive paradox. Even if we miraculously manage to target their ships, the sheer volume of nuclear weapons required to make a dent would trigger a nuclear winter. We'd destroy our own atmosphere and wipe out just as much of the planet as the invaders would. Our ultimate defense mechanism is quite literally mutual destruction.
Which leads us straight into the second half of the countdown, terraforming and total collapse. Basically, the erasure of humanity.
By hour 30, global military efforts are completely and totally crushed. Any surviving population is forced into uncoordinated guerrilla warfare. But by hour 36, the aliens move right past us and execute the next phase of their plan, terraforming. And by hour 48, human society as we know it has completely collapsed. The Earth just doesn't belong to us anymore.
And the sheer scale of this terraforming would be unimaginable. They wouldn't just be shooting at us, they would be completely modifying the Earth to fit their unique, non-human biology. Imagine an enemy dropping swarms of nanobots to replace our oxygen with methane or ammonia. They could deploy massive orbital mirrors to instantly freeze or boil the planet's surface. They could alter the salinity of our oceans, wiping out all marine life, or even trigger dormant volcanoes worldwide. They would literally make the very atmosphere of the planet toxic to us.
So, by hour 48, billions of humans are gone. For the survivors, the aftermath is a literal nightmare. Some theories suggest we might be kept in a galactic zoo. But in a full-scale hostile takeover, the remaining humans could simply become subjects for genetic harvesting. There are even terrifying hypotheses out there suggesting a hyper-advanced, AI-driven alien race might harness the neurological capabilities of human brains, using our biological computing power to process complex math equations. Yeah, turning us into living hard drives.
I think Seth Shostak, a leading expert over at SETI, summed it up perfectly. When asked what he would do if a hostile alien force actually attacked us, his answer was incredibly blunt. He said, "Run into the hills and kiss your own ass goodbye." Because against a civilization that is thousands or maybe millions of years ahead of us, it is instantly game over.
And that leaves us with a truly profound and frankly chilling final thought. We spend millions of dollars every year beaming signals into space, desperately searching for a cosmic neighbor, but knowing our absolute, total lack of defense against such godlike technology. If they really are out there, are we better off just staying quiet in the dark? Think about it. Thanks for watching and stay curious.